Welcome, gents. When you're a threat, you're never a victim. Society loves to push the idea that being nice is the ultimate virtue, that the more agreeable, self-sacrificing, and accommodating you are, the more worthy you become. But let's be real. Nice guys finish last not because the world is unfair, but because they mistake passivity for goodness. They tolerate disrespect, chase approval, and suppress their own needs in the hope that life will reward them for their compliance. Sigma males? They operate on a completely different frequency. You don't play by those rules because you know they're rigged. You don't beg for respect, you command it. You don't seek validation, you define your own worth. You aren't nice in the way people expect, but you are fair, honest, and unapologetically true to yourself. The truth is, real strength isn't found in endless agreeableness. It's in knowing when to say no. It's in setting boundaries, walking away from nonsense, and refusing to be manipulated by guilt or false expectations. And that's exactly why you stand out. This isn't about becoming cold or ruthless. It's about recognizing that being good doesn't mean being soft. You are a Sigma male because you refuse to betray yourself just to make others comfortable. And in a world desperate for people pleasers, that makes you unstoppable. Here are 10 brutally honest reasons why Sigma males aren't the nice guys, and why that's your greatest strength. Let's get started, gents. Number 1. They don't tolerate nonsense. A Sigma male doesn't waste time on nonsense. He has no interest in shallow conversations, pointless arguments, or people who refuse to grow. While nice guys often tolerate foolishness just to keep the peace, a Sigma male has no problem cutting through the noise and walking away. This isn't about arrogance, it's about efficiency. A Sigma male values his time and energy too much to waste it on meaningless interactions. He's not the guy who smiles through forced small talk or pretends to be interested in things that don't matter. If a conversation lacks depth, he checks out. If someone is all talk but no action, he moves on. If a person is toxic, manipulative, or just plain foolish, he doesn't argue. He disappears. This makes him intimidating to some people. Those who thrive on drama, gossip, or fake pleasantries won't find a willing audience in him. They'll call him cold or antisocial. But the truth is, he just has better things to do than entertain nonsense. He's not interested in proving points to people who refuse to listen. He won't debate fools who only argue to hear themselves talk. And he definitely won't waste time on those who drain his energy without adding anything valuable in return. But here's the thing, when a Sigma male does engage, people listen. When he speaks, his words carry weight because he doesn't waste them. He surrounds himself with people who challenge him, who bring new insights, who add meaning to his life. If you're in his circle, it's because he genuinely respects you, not because he needs company. At the end of the day, a Sigma male isn't rude. He's just selective. He knows that life is too short to spend it on meaningless interactions, and he has no interest in lowering his standards just to fit in. If someone isn't worth his time, he simply moves on. No drama, no second chances, no regrets. Number 2, they can be ruthless when necessary. Most people hesitate when it's time to cut ties. They second-guess, overthink, and let guilt keep them stuck in situations that drain them. Nice guys hold on, hoping things will magically change, hoping people will suddenly respect them, or hoping life will reward them for their patience. A Sigma male? He doesn't hope, he decides. When a friendship turns toxic, when a relationship becomes one-sided, or when a job exploits him, he doesn't stick around for round 2. He doesn't beg, explain, or try to make people see his worth. He simply leaves. And when he does, it's final. No dramatic exit. No emotional plea, just a quiet, deliberate choice to remove himself from anything that no longer aligns with his values or purpose. This isn't about being heartless, it's about self-respect. A Sigma male understands that loyalty should be mutual, not a one-way street. He sees when he's being taken for granted, and instead of complaining, he walks away. People often mistake this for coldness, but in reality, it's wisdom. He doesn't waste time fighting for a place where he's not valued. And when a situation requires him to be ruthless, he doesn't hesitate. Not because he enjoys it, but because he knows that in a world full of manipulators and opportunists, softness is a liability. If someone crosses a line, He doesn't give them endless chances. He removes them from his life like dead weight. That's the difference. Nice guys get trapped in cycles of false hope, waiting for things to improve while their energy is drained. A Sigma male? He understands that sometimes the strongest move isn't to fix the situation, it's to leave it behind. No regrets, no second chances, no looking back. And that's why he thrives where others struggle. Thank you for being part of Gents Grove community. You are valued. At number 3, their kindness has conditions. Most people think kindness means giving endlessly, forgiving repeatedly, and tolerating anything in the name of being a good person. That's why nice guys get used, drained, and left wondering why their generosity is never returned. But Sigma males, they don't play that game. A Sigma's kindness is real, but it's not free. It's not a currency he trades for approval, nor is it a weakness to be exploited. He helps those who deserve it, supports those who show respect, and gives his time to those who value it. But the moment someone starts acting entitled, manipulative, or ungrateful, he's done. No debates, no drawn-out explanations, just a silent, permanent exit. This is what people don't understand. They mistake the Sigma's quiet nature for endless patience. They assume he'll always be there, always be understanding, always be willing to overlook disrespect. But the truth is he watches everything. He sees when someone is taking more than they give. He notices when people expect his kindness but never return it. And when he's had enough, he doesn't complain. He disappears. Some call this harsh, but a Sigma knows better. Blind generosity doesn't make you kind, it makes you a target. There are people in this world who will take advantage of anyone who lets them. A Sigma refuses to be one of them. He has no problem cutting off freeloaders, energy vampires, and manipulators, no matter how much they plead or guilt trip. And here's the difference between a Sigma and a nice guy. A nice guy gives kindness to everyone, hoping it will eventually be appreciated. A Sigma gives it only to those who prove they deserve it. And that's why he never gets played. If someone mistakes his kindness for weakness, they learn the hard way. It was never weakness to begin with. It was a privilege, and once lost, it's gone forever. It's gone. Number 4, they don't confuse weakness for niceness. There's a dangerous lie that society pushes. If you're nice, people will respect you. But here's the harsh truth. Being overly nice doesn't earn you respect, it gets you walked all over. Nice guys bend, compromise, and silence themselves, thinking it makes them good people. They let others take advantage of them because they're too afraid of conflict. And when they finally realize they're being used, it's too late. A Sigma male? He knows better. He understands that real kindness isn't about being a pushover, it's about having the strength to stand your ground. A Sigma isn't afraid to say no. He isn't scared to walk away. He doesn't tolerate disrespect just to keep the peace. His kindness has weight because it's backed by power. People often mistake weakness for niceness, but a Sigma sees the difference clearly. True kindness isn't about making everyone happy, it's about being honest, fair, and firm. A Sigma won't betray himself just to avoid making someone uncomfortable. He won't agree to things he doesn't want to do just to be liked. And if someone tries to guilt trip him into submission, they'll quickly learn that manipulation doesn't work on him. This is why people respect him. They might not always like him, but they know he means what he says and stands by his word. His kindness isn't about making others feel good, it's about doing what's right, even if it's not what they want to hear. And that's the difference between a Sigma and a nice guy. A nice guy sacrifices himself to please others, hoping they'll appreciate it. A Sigma? He stands firm, knowing that real respect comes from strength, not from being agreeable. Because at the end of the day, kindness without strength is just another form of submission, and a Sigma male never submits. Number 5, they make themselves the prize. Most people spend their lives chasing approval, trying to be liked, trying to be chosen, trying to prove they're worthy of someone's attention. Nice guys fall into this trap all the time. They try too hard, overextend themselves, and bend over backward, thinking that if they just do enough, someone will finally appreciate them. But Sigma males, they don't chase, they attract. A Sigma male understands a simple truth. You don't get respect by begging for it. You earn it by becoming someone worth respecting. That's why he focuses on himself, his goals, his growth, his independence. He doesn't waste time trying to convince people to like him or stay in his life. Instead, he works on becoming the best version of himself. And in doing so, people naturally gravitate toward him. This is what sets him apart. While others are desperate for attention, he moves with quiet confidence. While nice guys are busy proving their worth to others, he already knows his value, and that changes everything. He doesn't need to chase friendships, relationships, or validation, because the more he focuses on himself, the more others are drawn to him. But here's the catch. Just because people are drawn to him doesn't mean he accepts just anyone. Unlike a nice guy who will tolerate anything just to keep people around, a Sigma male is selective. If someone isn't bringing value to his life, if they're disrespectful, draining, or disloyal, he has no problem walking away. This is why he commands loyalty without ever asking for it. People respect him because they want to, not because he begs for it. And that's the difference. A nice guy chases, hoping to be chosen. A Sigma male builds himself up so high that people can't help but notice. And when they do, they realize he is the prize, not the other way around. Number 6. They aren't afraid to be the villain. A Sigma male doesn't lose sleep over how people see him. He's not chasing validation or approval from others, and he definitely doesn't bend over backward to fit some mold of good. If that means being painted as the villain in someone else's story, so be it. A Sigma understands that standing up for himself, setting boundaries, rejecting manipulation, or simply refusing to compromise might make some people uncomfortable, but he doesn't care. In a world where so many are obsessed with being liked or fitting in, Sigma males stand apart. They won't hide who they are or back down from what they believe just to make others happy. They have zero interest in playing the role of the nice guy if it means selling out their values or integrity. If being true to themselves makes them the villain in someone's eyes, they wear that label without hesitation. This doesn't mean they're malicious or intentionally hurtful. They're not out to tear people down or create chaos. But Sigma males won't let anyone manipulate them into sacrificing their own peace of mind for the sake of keeping things easy. They understand that sometimes doing what's right means standing alone. It might mean being misunderstood or even disliked, but they'll take that over sacrificing their authenticity. Being a Sigma isn't about pleasing people. It's about remaining true to who you are, no matter how uncomfortable that might make others. If the world sees them as the villain for standing up for themselves or choosing independence over dependency, they accept it. The Sigma male knows that his opinion of himself is the only one that matters. He doesn't need everyone else to understand his choices because he knows his integrity is non-negotiable. In a world that tries to convince you that nice equals good, the Sigma male understands the power of being unapologetically real, even if it means stepping into the role of the villain. After all, true strength comes from not caring who labels you, because you know exactly who you are. Number 7. They're not a doormat. For some, being nice means putting everyone else's needs above their own, even at the cost of their own dignity. They let people walk all over them, hoping to avoid confrontation or to be liked. A Sigma male doesn't fall into that trap. He understands that kindness doesn't mean weakness, and he's never afraid to stand up for himself when necessary. A Sigma male knows the value of his time, energy, and respect. He doesn't waste them on people who think they can treat him like a doormat. He sets strong, clear boundaries and sticks to them, regardless of who gets offended in the process. If someone tries to take advantage, disrespect him, or demand more than he's willing to give, he won't hesitate to shut it down. The difference is clear. Sigma males don't let fear of conflict rule their decisions. While others might bite their tongue to avoid upsetting someone, a Sigma will speak his truth, even if it ruffles feathers. He'd rather have an honest confrontation than quietly suffer in silence. He doesn't need to be liked by everyone, especially if that means compromising his self-respect. This doesn't make him rude or unkind, it just makes him firm. He understands that real respect is earned, and he doesn't expect it to be given freely if he hasn't earned it in return. He also doesn't expect people to treat him with disrespect and get away with it. His dignity isn't for sale, and if anyone tries to trample over it, they'll quickly learn there are consequences. Being a Sigma male means knowing where you stand and making sure others know it too. He's not afraid of conflict because he knows conflict doesn't always mean destruction. It can be a way to reinforce respect. And when you respect yourself enough to protect your boundaries, others will have no choice but to respect you as well. Number 8. They value power over sympathy. Most people have been conditioned to believe that if they struggle, if they suffer, and if they make their hardships visible, others will step in and help. Nice guys fall into this mindset all the time. When things don't go their way, they look for sympathy. They tell sob stories, hoping for kindness in return. They wait for someone to recognize their pain and reward them for enduring it. But Sigma males, they don't play that game. They know that sympathy is fleeting and, more often than not, useless. Feeling sorry for someone doesn't fix their problems. It just gives them a temporary sense of validation. And a Sigma male has no interest in being pitied. He would rather be respected. Respect comes from strength, from taking control, from refusing to let life break you no matter how hard it tries. A Sigma male understands that power, not sympathy, is what truly matters. Power over his emotions, power over his decisions, and power over his future. If life knocks him down, he doesn't sit there waiting for someone to feel bad for him. He gets up, adjusts his strategy, and keeps moving. This is what makes Sigmas different. They don't waste energy seeking validation. They don't beg for kindness. They don't expect the world to be fair. Instead, they take full responsibility for their lives and focus on what they can control. And that's exactly why they thrive. People respect those who own their circumstances, who face their struggles head-on without looking for a shoulder to cry on. That's why a Sigma male moves in silence, handles his business, and never plays the victim. Because at the end of the day, sympathy fades. But power stays. And a Sigma male would rather be in control of his own fate than be at the mercy of anyone's temporary compassion. Number 9. They see relationships as additions, not necessities. Most people are desperate for relationships, not because they genuinely want one, but because they feel incomplete without one. Nice guys fall into this trap all the time. They believe finding a partner will give their life meaning, that love will somehow fix their problems, that being in a relationship will prove they're worthy. And that's exactly why they settle for less, tolerate disrespect, and cling to people who don't even deserve them. Sigma males, they don't think like that. A relationship is an addition to their life, not the foundation of it. They don't need someone to feel whole because they already are. Their sense of purpose, confidence, and happiness doesn't come from external validation. It comes from within. And that's why they never chase, never beg, and never tolerate nonsense just to keep someone around. A Sigma male values his time and energy too much to waste it on the wrong person. If a relationship adds stress instead of peace, he walks away. If he feels unappreciated, he doesn't argue. He disappears. If someone tries to play games, he doesn't entertain them. He moves on. He understands that a relationship should be a partnership, not a prison sentence. This mindset makes him rare. While others bend over backward to be chosen, a Sigma chooses. He doesn't settle for a relationship just to avoid being alone. He would rather walk alone than be with the wrong person. And that's what makes him different. Because when a Sigma finally commits, it's not out of fear or desperation. It's because he sees genuine value in the connection. And that's why, unlike nice guys, he never ends up in relationships built on illusions, emotional neediness, or misplaced expectations. A Sigma male doesn't need a relationship. But if he chooses to be in one, you can be sure it's because he truly wants to be there. And that makes all the difference. Number 10. They're not afraid to say no. For some, saying yes is the default response. They do it because they don't want to disappoint others, avoid conflict, or seem rude. But a Sigma male? He's not afraid to say no when something doesn't align with his priorities or values. He understands that his time is one of his most valuable resources, and he won't waste it on things, people, or activities that don't deserve it. Whether it's an unnecessary social invitation, a demand from a colleague, or a request from someone who isn't offering anything in return. Sigma males have no problem turning it down, and they don't feel guilty about it. While others might scramble to please everyone around them, constantly saying yes to keep the peace or gain approval, a Sigma male is clear about his boundaries. If it doesn't add value to his life, it gets a firm no. This ability to say no isn't rooted in selfishness. It's rooted in self-respect. Sigma males know that in order to protect their energy, they need to be selective with how they spend their time. They won't waste a minute doing something they're not passionate about, just to fit in or keep up appearances. Instead, they focus on what truly matters to them, whether it's their goals, passions, or personal peace. It's a quiet form of power. When you can say no without hesitation, without the need for an excuse, it shows that you're in control of your life. You don't need to please anyone because you've already learned how to please yourself. You don't seek external validation. Your worth is already validated by your own standards. Saying no is just another way of saying yes to what truly deserves your time and energy. In a world that often values people-pleasing over self-respect, Sigma males know the strength in standing firm and refusing to let anyone dictate how they spend their time. Conclusion. In a world that often equates being nice with bending over backward to please others, Sigma males choose a different path, one rooted in self-respect, clarity, and strength. They're not here to win popularity contests or maintain superficial relationships. They understand that being true to themselves requires stepping away from the crowd and standing firm in their values, even when it ruffles feathers. Sigma males don't follow the traditional script. They don't say yes just to fit in, and they don't tolerate disrespect or manipulation. They know that kindness doesn't mean being a doormat, and strength doesn't mean silence in the face of disrespect. Their time, energy, and respect are earned, never given away freely to those who don't deserve it. But here's the thing, this doesn't mean they lack compassion. Sigma males are deeply selective with who gets their loyalty and trust because they've learned that loyalty is a sacred thing. They're not afraid to say no when necessary, nor do they compromise their integrity for anyone. They don't need external validation because they already know their worth. So why aren't Sigma males the nice guys? Because being nice is often a shortcut to being taken for granted. Sigma males choose authenticity over approval. They're not here to make you comfortable. They're here to show you that self-respect, integrity, and a strong sense of independence are far more valuable than simply playing the game to be liked. If you want to learn from the Sigma male mindset, remember this. Don't be afraid to say no when it counts, set strong boundaries, and never sacrifice who you are just to please others. Life is too short to be anything but unapologetically yourself. When you embrace your worth and stand by your principles, the right people will respect you. And that's the only validation you need. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.